Echo, huh? I hope there's no echo. Let me know, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the show. It's been a long time since we've chatted, 48 hours ago or so. Good to see everyone. But yes, in all seriousness, if anyone sees any hint of a delay or an echo or anything that's not copacetic, Guten Tag, Mike. How are you? It's gone. Yeah, I hope it stays that way, Dawn. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Kelly. Got to give him a second to start. Yeah, come on. She's just busting chops in the healthiest and happiest of ways. Thank you, CJ. Hi, Kelly. Great to see everybody. Thanks, Barbara, and welcome to the show. Really good to see everyone. Hopefully everything stays. What we're going to do tonight to avoid any potential issues is I'm not going to do any screen shares, anything of the like, unless it's absolutely necessary, because it seems like that was what triggered some of the slow motion activity the other night on Friday. So let's avoid that. Let's just stick to basics. Hi, Kim. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome, Jeff. How you doing? And Mike can hear me. So that's all. Again, what else can you ask? I'm glad to hear. I don't feel like I'm underwater or anything. I have the microphone going. The microphone is queued up. Pleasant background. I'll tell you, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. I know it's a StreamYard thing, as they alluded to in the chat that we did live on the air Friday. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Welcome aboard. But regardless, it's just kind of weird. I'm not used to having gremlins like that on the broadcast. So I'm proceeding with caution. Again, please, if anybody sees any hint of lag or anything of the like, I know you won't not let me know. So I appreciate it very much. Good to see you, Steven. Hey, Joe, how you doing? It's afternoon and where Joe is. Don't I wish it was afternoon here? It's been pitch black for well over 2 hours at this point. It never, we've been dealing with this for quite a few decades at this point, and it still shakes me to my core. Every time we do this clock change thing, man, it screws things up. The dramatic darkness an hour earlier is just, it's crazy. I've heard tell that next year, supposedly, we're not doing it anymore. We're going to go in the springtime, we're going to go ahead and just kind of stay there. I don't know if that's true or urban legend, but I've heard that it's supposed to be just kind of stable, and we're going to do away with this nonsense of going back and forth. I think that's a good thing, personally. Good evening, Jim. Pittsburgh. Fine town. We went out to a wedding for a good friend of my wife's a couple of years ago in Pittsburgh. We had a very nice time. Nice town. I hadn't been there in years. I used to go to ball games in Three Rivers when the Mets played the Pirates. But that was quite a while ago now. It is the last year, Barbara. Your sources are telling you it's official. I read something that it was a law was passed or something to do away with it. I say good riddance personally. I think it's just so silly to go back and forth like that. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Yeah, it's not the act of physically changing the clocks that gets me personally, Karen. It's the just shocking darkness. 4 o'clock, it's bright and sunny. It's the middle of the day, and an hour later, pitch black. Just depressing. We've had unseasonably, insanely warm weather the last couple of days. It's been pushing 80 for 2 days in a row. That all comes to a drastic end this evening, and tomorrow we're back to reality with 60 and 37, 50s Wednesday, Thursday. So the roller coaster ride continues, but I'll tell you, that's even stranger because it felt like summer the last 2 days, and then to see it get dark at 5 o'clock is just so bizarre. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Yeah. Hello. Just make sure everybody says hi. It's a done deal. Okay, cool. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for confirming. I don't want to pass along bad information. I did read something to that effect, but I never know anymore who's telling the truth, who's not. In the little comment blurb thing under the video, I had said something. Basically, we have lots to talk about and had some good news. It's really just some follow-up from Friday's not so good news as pertains to eBay. I know a lot of people were in the same boat as me, where essentially if you use eBay standard envelope, the metrics that records, I want to get to the screen so I could say exactly the right wording, but the metrics that says that your item was scanned on time and shipped on time was all out of whack. And I had like 7 or 8 ones that said that was missing a carrier scan. I was down to 94% on that metrics, and then it threatened that if you don't get back up over 95, I think is the low number, you'd be dropped from the top rated seller thing. I was pretty angry. I saw a few people, Mark, SM Postcards, hopefully he'll be in soon. He did a nice video all about that topic. Well, the good news was it was fixed, and I'm right back up to 100. They took away all those dings. Now let's see what happens today, because I did mail some postcards that sold over the weekend. I hope that it doesn't, like in a week, all of a sudden say that they're missing a scam. But it looks like, at least in the short run, that issue on eBay has been fixed. I'm very happy about that, because I was concerned. I just, not so much for the, it's a psychological thing. You like to see the top rate and all, but there's a, like I said on a Friday, there's a monetary component to it. You get a little bit of a discount on final value fees when you have that top rated. So you would lose that. You'd pay higher fees, even if it's a nominal amount. Not cool, for no reason other than eBay couldn't calculate it correctly. But again, to their credit, it looks like it's fixed. Let me know if you guys experienced this issue. I did speak to a few people who all said the same thing as me, that metrics is back to normal again. So let's hope it stays that way. Hey, Joe, you have one clock that has to change by hand. You're going to leave it till spring. There you go. And Joe, by the way, thank you for the subscription. Looks like you just subscribed to the channel. I know you've been on a bunch of times. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Hey, Bartomania, what's going on? Lisa Dorr, hey, how are you? Thank you for this program. I'm new to your program. Oh, thank you very much. Great to have you. Welcome aboard. Hope I'm pronouncing your last name. Is it Dorr? Help me. I want to say it correctly, but welcome aboard, Lisa. So grateful that you're here with us. Mine is still 42 from October and 22 from November. We spoke with eBay for Business today. They said that if you ship via ESE, they remove the defects in bulk before the next review. Okay. Well, that took place for me Saturday. It was the same day that Mark had uploaded, SM Postcards uploaded a video all about this. And I wrote a comment quickly like, yeah, I'm in the same boat, man, blah, blah, blah. And then the next morning I woke up and it was back to 100. Hopefully you'll be back to that, Kelly. As long as it doesn't impact that. If it's just a cosmetic, annoying thing and it's not reading it correctly, that's okay. I just, the fact that it said that you'd be dropped from top rated was the part that concerned me. But that's good to hear. I'm glad they got back to you, by the way, Kelly. And we'll go to some other news concerning HIP in a moment. You saw a bill was passed in the Senate, but stalled in the House for the time thing. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say matter-of-factly, oh, yeah, it's not. But Barbara says her sources are telling her it's a done deal. Evening, Emporium, etc. How you doing? To my channel, you're welcome. Dory, okay. Lisa Dory. Welcome aboard, Lisa. Great to have you. Took 4 days, yeah. How's your, is the, the sweep over from all your eBay stuff complete yet on HIP Postcard, Kelly? I know you still had several thousand, right? All I see for here is that we were. Dawn obviously writing somebody else and accidentally slipping into our wholesome, family-oriented channel here. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. When even you notice how the time frame where we did the back and forth nonsense with the time kept getting closer and closer. Like now we changed it in March all the way to November. So it's like 7 months, 8 months. So we were down to only 4 months of actual correct, because this is really the actual time right now, supposedly. So if we do jump ahead in the spring, that means we're going to be artificially ahead an hour, infinitum, until somebody else comes up with another idea. It is not yet a done deal. Uh-oh. See, I'm hearing, I don't know what's going on. Isn't tomorrow election day? That should be the top thing on the ballot. It was still stalled. Surprise, surprise. Looking into the issue, nothing yet. I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful. I never got an answer back. Let's go into the HIP thing really quickly, because on Friday I'd mentioned, I'm losing track of time, but I had an issue which persists, which I've been handling myself. 1,095 is my exact number right now live on HIP. But before we get into the bad stuff about HIP, I sold my first postcard on HIP about 2 hours ago. Very excited. My first sale. So that's pretty cool. At least I got one. First time ever I've sold something on HIP. Pretty happy. Now let's revert back to the not so good news with HIP. Kelly, a lot of other people, especially people that have tens of thousands of listings, are having trouble getting everything migrated over from eBay. Now my stuff, I think I'm pretty much caught up as far as a number analysis. Like I have the same amount, an even amount of listings for postcards on both sides, eBay and HIP. So that's great. The problem that persists for me, I fixed almost all of them, is I still have 200, let me give you the exact number, 265 listings for New Jersey postcards, Lakewood, Atlantic City, Asbury, Trenton, you name it, in New Jersey, that are all stuck in Europe, United Kingdom, Crown dependencies, United Kingdom. So they are all incorrectly, Jersey, as in the city of Jersey in the UK, rather than New Jersey. So what I did is I went in, there was beyond this, it was 300 and something when I started. Beyond this New Jersey thing, there was also a series of postcards that were in ephemera categories instead of postcards. So I fixed everything outside of these 265. It wound up being about 400 some odd listings were erroneously categorized. The majority of it is this Jersey thing. So I'm going to just kind of go in. I've gotten no response to my email from now, I guess it's like 4 or 5 days ago. The last one, where they were pretty responsive with other stuff. Like I had to initiate the first migration over from eBay. I had to do it via email, and they said, we'll take care of it. That was the last conversation, unfortunately. And then when I said, hey guys, we have this issue with Jersey, can you look into it? I think I told you on Friday, I sent a spreadsheet over to them with like the ID code for the location that was incorrect. And I asked if they could please move everything to New Jersey. They did nothing, and they haven't written back. So I guess I'm just going to go in and do it. It really isn't that hard to do. And unfortunately, there isn't, unlike eBay, where you could do a lot of tweaks, on a grand scale. You can make edits. On Hip Postcard, you have the ability to do some mass edits, but unfortunately, changing the category is not one of those mass edits. So you have to go in one by one if you want to do that. I don't want all these cards stuck in Jersey, UK. Nobody's going to find them on Hip if they're looking for an Atlantic City postcard in Jersey. So let's see what happens. Ontario passed a bill in 2020. It will only be enacted if New York State and Quebec also do it. Interesting. Okay, gotcha. Well, that's where all my New Jersey postcards are residing right now, Stephen, over on the Hip platform. Gotta make that change. So I'm just going to manually. You can do it one by one. Just go in, change the. You have to go back a series of steps, put it into the proper one, save it, and then it's set going forward. But it's a pain in the neck, and I don't appreciate the fact that they haven't written back or even acknowledged the problem. So we'll see. But I am excited. I got my first order today, a whopping $7 over on Hip for a postcard. Pretty psyched. What I wound up doing to avoid any more agita is I just kind of went in to eBay 20 minutes later or something and ended it on eBay manually, because it was only one. It's not a big deal. And I know they recommend that periodically we go in if this is just a conversation for people on Hip. You have to go in manually at this point because there's a disconnect still that exists between the ending thing. If you sell something on Hip, it doesn't automatically end it on eBay like it's supposed to. So you have to kind of manually intervene. So I did that. I waited like 10 minutes and I just did it. So just, God forbid, my luck, it'll sell on eBay. So I'm pretty psyched. So that's the good news. I mean, I'm happy I got a sale. I'm not happy I have to go in and manually change 265 listings on Hip, but I'm just kind of doing it. Put some music on and do it. And I could do it as I'm listing on other things. It's busy work. It's mindless busy work. But I want the stuff in the proper category. I want to have a fighting chance to sell something on Hip. Jersey cows are cute. Yeah, the ones with the long hair, right? You decided to do something I should have done years ago. I'm adding my cost per item to the SKU field. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. That's a cool idea. Yeah, and then you get a sense of profit more easily or readily on each individual postcard. That's cool. What else? What else was my good news? Oh, I also had an Etsy sale today, which is just so to have a shocking day. eBay, Etsy, and Hip all with a sale today. First time it's ever happened in my stores. I don't sell very well on Etsy, unfortunately. I've whined about that. I don't have enough listings, and I don't really take care of that site like I should. But I did get an Etsy sale today, so I'm pretty pumped. I had that in the morning. Hip sale a couple hours ago. A few eBay sales. So life is good. It is. That's a lot of work on the scale of your listings. My goodness. Yeah, I know he tries to keep it really low. Don't we all? I'm getting dangerously low to having no more postcards. Remember, we went through this a couple weeks ago, or I went through this and whined about it online. Well, I don't want to keep myself in that position again. So I did buy one lot from Popeye the other night. It's only like 140 cards. So when that comes in, that'll be my reserve. I'll just have like an emergency pack at all times. Because what I have left now is all greeting cards. I kind of waited for them until the end because I'm not very fond of them. But I'll eventually get those all listed. It's just a mishmash of Christmas and Easter. No Halloween, unfortunately. A couple of New Year's, birthday greeting, generic kind of stuff. That I'll list it though. I mean, I didn't buy it so that it could sit there. Currently, every 6 months, you go through line by line and match up with the corresponding letter. It takes 3 to 4 hours, so I can just add the column to the report times quantity sold equals total cost of goods. Good stuff. Hey, at least I admit it. Yeah, the goal is to keep them low, certainly. But if you're buying an $8 postcard, you'd be confident it's going to sell for a lot, right? All right, so that's pretty much the update as far as Friday's situation is concerned. Again, eBay back up, at least for me. I know for a bunch of other people, the stand envelope thing has been fixed. My review date is the 20th of each month because Kelly was saying something about the evaluation date is set for November 20th. So I'm still, 2 weeks out from that? And I'm glad to see that it wasn't. I was nervous that it was going to be like the 18th and 19th and there was going to be no resolution and then they were going to drop me and all that nonsense. But apparently that's all fixed now. As far as traffic goes on eBay, which was another topic a couple of weeks ago, I'm sure many remember who watched the show. I got some great advice from a lot of people here about changing my promoted campaign, which I did. And so far, so good with that. Again, everything's up. Items are being seen. Items are selling. That's always a good thing. Impressions are up. Page views are up. I'm just doing the last 30 days, but everything seems to be rocking and rolling. No huge dives like I experienced a couple weeks ago. What else? Just trying to catch up on loose ends. I'm going to have a what's sold video come out tomorrow. It's funny. I was one of the people that was saying, they're boring. Who cares about what sells? But I do like to show some of the stuff that sells, especially when we list them together. Like I get a kick out of that. Like if there's some stuff that we listed on a listing show and you can see it sell, it's kind of cool and hopefully motivational for people who want to get into the same sort of niches, be it the print ad thing, the postcard thing. I've got some nice feedback from people about print ads that they're doing, including Dawn, that is selling some print ads, which I always love to see. And they are selling pretty well for me too. Prices vary, but I haven't had like any really, ridiculously low ball offers. They've been selling at respectable numbers. So I'm very happy. Really am. Hey, Connie, how you doing? Use a custom SKU for your source and cost makes it easy when you accept offers. There you go. Yeah, you can just eyeball it right away. That's a good idea. It's a very good idea. You used to worry about the cost of individual items. You just can't anymore buying too many items at once. For me to do that. Yep, I get that point too. Hey, Allie, how you doing? How did your whatnot go? I saw you had some Christmas whatnot stuff going on a little while ago. Hope you sold some stuff. Hey, Popeye, how you doing? Just getting caught up. Pittsburgh is your most favorite city in the world. Really? Yeah, it's a cool town. I liked it. I've been, I don't know, probably about 10 times. Most recently was that wedding maybe 4 years ago. But when I was like in my 20s, we used to travel all over the place. I'm a huge Met fan, and we used to travel all over the country to try to see every ballpark and follow the team. So I used to go out there a lot. You took a map to mail to the post office, one piece of paper between chipboards and covered in plastic. The clerk who took it has been there forever. He said the post office now designates. Yeah, technical issues. I'm sorry. There you go. I was waiting for a hopeful follow-up there, Stephen, because you said designates. I was trying to figure it out, but I see. So because you had that the chipboard in there, it made it kind of thick, huh? eBay gives you a month to get top rated back up before the drop. Well, that's good to know. Hopefully I'll never be in that position again. I mean, it wasn't anything I did, so it was just their issue, but they fixed it, and that's okay. Hey, how you feeling, John? Hope you're doing pretty well. We got a shindig to attend, and how long? Hold on. Next week, a week from Friday, is the York Postcard Show. I am there with bells on. I can't wait. I'm really psyched to see the goodies at that place. It'll be my first ever card show. Very excited about it. Next Friday coming up. And then this coming Saturday, which is just 5 days away, is Ephemerama 3. As my wife makes a very loud noise. Hold on one second. What was that?
Trash.
I got to get that on-air sign that everybody has and just have it blinking to my left so that anybody walks downstairs. Hello, we're doing a show. Regarding promoting, which selections do we go into in order to promote suggested rate? I gave up and chose flat fee. I'd like to change it. You mean within building your promotion, Kim? Like when you go into eBay to create a promotion? Interesting. Hey, Jay Smith, how you doing? 1/4 inch for a package. Just happen to have a ruler right here. 1/4 inch. Yeah. That seems about right. I know they go through different sorters and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not a postman by any stretch of the imagination, but I can imagine they have those sorting machines. Dawn says do it with a bulk editor. That's very true. And then on the left side, you could pull down to where it says promoted. There's a couple of tick boxes, Kim, like the first one might say, I'm trying to do it from memory. I really don't know. The first one is probably the default one. If you check the one below where it'll have 2 other boxes open up where you have to click it first to make it active. And then you can increase, like if you choose whatever their promoted item, whatever the percentage is, you can go in and add to that amount. If it says suggested is 5% and you want to go up 3% on top of whatever their high number is, you could do that there. You click that button. Mrs. Flippett is a busy gal today. I was a bacon boy today, baking up some cookies in an ongoing effort to get cookies out the door. I think he's still upstairs, Dawn. We'll see. You're getting lots ready for both tomorrow and Ephemerama. Cool. Yeah, it could be a long road, but you will get there. It was not thick enough. No, I mean, it was not thick enough for package shipping, so he tore it open and put some bubble wrap in. Oh, I gotcha. It was too thin. The suggested rates differ, though, on a variety of print ads. Yeah, that's true. And not just print ads, on a bunch of stuff. They vary. Yep. But if you want to consistently, and you could also put a cap on it, Kim. Like you could say, I don't want to make up numbers for you, but whatever your threshold is, you could put a cap and say, you use eBay's recommended, and you could say an add 3, let's just say, but don't exceed 5%, 10%, whatever the number is that you don't want to go over. And then nothing will be promoted at a higher rate than you set as your threshold. And that's all within. But Dawn mix up a great point. Just go in if you want and do a bulk edit. I don't know how many listings you have live, but depending on how many listings, it shouldn't take that long. Not sure. I still loving Lori's new homemade icon thing. Yeah, there's that cap that I was just saying. Connie just mentioned it too. Yeah, you could cap it so that it doesn't get like astronomical and you want to paying 20% and promoted. But again, it depends on your business. There are people that probably don't mind paying 20% promoted. If they think it gives them a competitive edge, then that's great. You do what you got to do. Good stuff. Interesting. And you said that guy was there a long time too. Yeah, that's where you can tweak it, Kim. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Good to see you. Yeah, that's always my credo. Adapt. Nothing you could really do about it. Yep. Cool. Yeah, try it out, Kim. I would do a screen share, but I'm afraid of it crippling my stream, so I'm not going to do one right now until if I hear something back from StreamYard that their little problem with Google Chrome has been ironed out, then maybe I'll do that again. But until then, I think we're gonna refrain from sharing any screens for right now. That's okay. The grammar police are not around tonight. I made sure they weren't invited to the show. 30 years, first time you ever said it. Yeah, that's really weird. Maybe they must have gotten some memo or something saying to start enforcing it. I'm not sure. It's annoying, though. Not sure. Flats don't get tracking. Wow, very good. 500. Good stuff, Kim. Awesome. Yeah, tweak. Be involved with your listings. I'm a big fan of that. Want to be actively involved in all aspects of your listings. Congratulations. That's good stuff. 7 ads is really good over the weekend out of 500. Not bad at all. Yeah, you want to check that ad rate cap, and then you just fill in a number that you don't want the promoted to exceed. Like, just for instance, if you want to put 10%, it means that no matter what the eBay suggested is, it'll never exceed 10%. Yeah, we haven't done a listing show in a while, you notice. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Still have a couple of days. Maybe StreamYard will fix that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool, Kim. I know Dawn and I write a lot during the day, and she was saying she's having she has a lot of really cool Coca-Cola ads, which is one of the top shelf advertising pieces you could ever have across the board, not just print ads, but Coca-Cola, wildly successful, wildly collected company. And she's getting a lot of activity on those, which is awesome to hear too. I'm tempted to, inspired by my little Etsy sale today, which had nothing to do with ephemera. It was a coat, but it sold, and it sold for good money, which is cool. But I'm tempted to go move over a bunch of print ads to Etsy, just cross list them. But I know this is going to sound cheap, but I'm turned off. It's 20 cents. They charge you 20 cents a listing, insertion fee. So if I do 1,000, it's $200 just to list 1,000 ads, which might sit there for a long time. So I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on that because it's a lot upfront cost. You know what I mean? Just to list it. Now, granted, yeah, they don't have store fees and everything, but $200 would be 5-6 months of store fees, right? I don't know what the math is there for eBay. So it's just it's a turn off for me, the fact that they have those insertion fees. I'd like to get some more listing. I'd like to see how the ads would do on Etsy, how my ads would do on Etsy. But the 20 cent thing, not to sound like a cheap person, but again, if you do it adds up really quickly. You do 1,000, it's $200. It's a lot of money just to list. So we'll see. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Well aware. Plus a store fee. Yeah, I've had an Etsy store for a couple of years. We've sold some stuff, but what I did initially was there's a handful of things I listed directly on Etsy, and it was more traditional Etsy things, crafty things, right? And then I had like some clothing and stuff left over, so I listed it directly on Etsy. But then I tried to bring over, this was a while ago, it's probably about 2 years ago, I tried to bring over a bunch of print ads from eBay, but it was a manual thing. I know that there's some third-party software where you can go in and you use a cross-listing tool to get stuff moved over. But the thing is, the templates are so different on Etsy. The listing template format is so different than eBay that I'm afraid the same thing is going to happen like with HIP. If I try to use one of those things and port it over to Etsy, it's going to screw up a bunch of fields, and I'm going to have to intervene anyway manually. So what I was doing is the good old-fashioned, kind of like what Popeye was saying the other day about his Dell camp. He's just like kind of copying and pasting. Taking the pictures from eBay, pasting it into Etsy, taking the title from eBay, pasting it into Etsy. But when I did that, I don't know, I sold maybe 2 or 3 ads, very low number, very low ratio to what I had listed. So I was turned off by that. And then they also have, I know Dawn's really good at Etsy and has a store, so she could probably speak to it a lot better than I can. But there's a time frame as well. Like your listings expire after a certain time, and then you have to choose to renew them, and against the 20 cents to renew them. So what happened with mine was, because they didn't sell, I didn't renew them, and then I had like a whole bucket of ads that were just sitting there in like a dead status. And then I went in and like tried to revive them and did maybe 50 or something, and same thing, nothing sold. So I was just put off by that. I would love to have another and I thought HIP was going to be this a couple of years ago, but I want to have another outlet for the print ad stuff other than eBay, just to, cross post stuff. And I haven't really found a good one yet. I was hoping maybe Etsy would be, because there's definitely some print ads on Etsy. I know Dawn lists on Etsy, lists print ads on Etsy, I should say. And it kind of fits into that whole crafty thing, that dynamic that they kind of push over there, and what Etsy's known for. And there's certainly vintage products, which is another thing Etsy likes to push. But I wish, don't we all wish, but I wish there was a clean, easy way to just kind of port everything over from eBay to other sites really quickly and easily, but we'll see. Maybe in the future things like that will be available, because otherwise I have to go in manually and then pay the stupid 20 cents. How long is the period for renewal, Dawn, when you do a listing on Etsy? It's a couple of months, I think, right? So, Michelle, just a very long way around your point. It's not so much the fees that scare me. They're pretty. They're obvious. Like they state their fees. There's not a lot of hidden stuff. Like the 20-cent thing is just for listing, and then they have a certain percentage on sale. Then they have a processing fee, like the PayPal processing fee and all that. So I'm not scared away by that necessarily. I just don't like the fact that you have to commit to the 20 cents up front per. And again, if I want to get a decent quantity, if I want to put 1,000 or 2,000 ads up, it's going to be $400 just to list the ads, and I don't think I'm going to make that $400 back anytime super quickly over there. So that's my kerfuffle when it comes to Etsy. That's a cool idea. Yeah, something separate to just do Etsy type stuff. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Oh, it's every 4 months. Okay. Yeah, it's a little better. Yep, I'm sure it is. It's just they're up front much more so if I'm going to try to cross list. Yeah, it's a viable platform, man. I mean, it's good. I don't mind. Again, we have sold some stuff. I have a pitiful amount of listings. I think I have like less than 50 listings at this point. Let's go see. Even though I'm pumped up about the fact that we sold something today. 1 second. Sorry, I have to look at my screen. How many listings do I have live? 36. Expired 43. So like all these expired ones, basically I can kick them back into gear if I want at again, 20 cents per item. So I have what, 43 I could make go live again. And Dawn's saying it's for 4 months, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's not terrible. I don't know. It would just be a lot of work and time. And I don't know how quick I'd get a return on it. So that becomes the whole time is money thing, which is a valid point. Do I really want to spend the time that it's going to take to manually do all these cross posts on print ads, and then do I want to pay the 20 cents per hour, even though it's 4 months, which is a reasonable time frame? All like that's going to be a lot of time and money up front for potentially a long wait for until some return starts coming my way. So it becomes, do I really want to do that? Do I want to spend the time when I could be listing 500 more postcards that day, or doing something else that I almost guarantee would get me a much faster return on my investment, my time investment, and money. Time is money, You have your set to renew automatically, but it's like eBay in that you don't have to baby it. Yeah, I guess that's why mine expired. 4 months. Yeah, that's pretty cool if you think about it. It's what, 5 cents a month. Right. No sub. Exactly. And that's why I wrote to you jokingly earlier. I'm like, well, choose your poison. Now you can get listings pretty much for free where they took away the listing fees on eBay. But you're right. You pay a store fee. You pay anyway, you slice it, folks. We're going to pay fees to sell merchandise online. And to me, most of it's money well spent, just for the exposure. You're getting millions of eyes potentially on these items that you want to get rid of, your little tchotchkes that you want to sell, and that's the price to pay to play the game. It's really reasonable. Most of them pretty reasonable if you factor out all the effort that goes into it and the marketing. Again, that's why I don't like things like Poshmark. And again, if anybody likes Poshmark, God bless you. I don't like Poshmark because they don't kind of do the marketing for you. The onus is on the seller to be very involved in pushing your own items on their platform, and that sort of defeats the purpose of going onto a platform. I just don't like that personally. And you have to have a good. One of my daughters sells on Poshmark. She loves it. She does clothing and stuff, and she does pretty well. She likes that, but she's a young girl who's into all the social media stuff, and it's second nature to her to push this stuff. For me, again, it just seems like more work. Like, not only are you paying fees, and you have to keep, I forgot what the terminology they use is. You have to push your store every so often, your closet or whatever, and go on Instagram and go on all these sites and say, hey, look at my site, look at my site, look at my site, over and over. And it drove me nuts. I only had that for like a month and I bailed. I'm like, no. There you go, Michelle. See that? Exactly. So that would be a fortune. 20 cents times 13. I mean, I don't know if you want to move everything to Etsy or cross-post everything to Etsy, but yeah, the numbers get scary. I totally see that. Congratulations on 13,000. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of what they're known for still. I know they sell a lot more than that. You have the ability to sell a lot more than that now, but that's kind of their MO, You mean the upfront charges? Is that what you're talking about? It does make you. Hey, Jimmy Buys, how you doing? Well, you had to bring the party down, Jimmy Buys, didn't you? No, I'm only kidding. Everybody could chime in with their sales. I had an amazing day because I had eBay, my first hip, and an Etsy sale all in one day. So that's a good day in Jiminy Flip It world. Let me tell you, it's always exciting to sell on other platforms. Now I do sell on Discogs and have some sales on Discogs now and then, but I don't have a lot listed. Very, very few listed on Discogs. I love Discogs though. Love it as a platform, not just for sales. I just love the site Discogs. Yeah, I would say it is too, Don. Kelly's saying average. The new hip, Corey. Well, I sold my first hip item today. I have just about 1,100 listings on hip that I moved over from eBay, postcards. It hasn't been a perfect transition, unfortunately, but I discussed that. If you want, I don't know if you were checking out the show in the beginning or if you caught any of Friday's show, interrupted by glitches, but they had a lot of problems with putting miscategorizing some of my postcards, which I'm just going in manually and fixing myself, because if I wait for them, I'm just going to sit, and not get anything. So I'm psyched. I sold the one card today, so now I still haven't paid for my monthly fee, but if I sell one more card, at least my monthly fee is paid for. And then I'll just take it from there. I'll see if it's worth continuing, but we'll see. It was encouraging to see that a hip sale came through. You should probably try your better stuff there, but you haven't yet. Yeah. But you have a store, Michelle, already, or would you have to start right from scratch? Do you have a store that's just kind of not active, sort of like mine? Do I use tags on Etsy? What a great question. Doing right? I don't know. Let me see. Do I use tags on Etsy? Yes, absolutely. In fact, hold on. Let's pull up a print. Do I have any print ads left on Etsy? Let me see. See, I want to share a screen. I'm afraid it's going to cripple everything, though. Yes, I absolutely use tags. Done. Like, for instance, I'm just going to show you. I have a print ad for the movie Easter Parade with Judy Garland and Fred Astaire. It's a 2-page ad from 1948 when the movie was new. And my tags are Judy Garland, Irving Berlin, Easter Parade, classic movies, 1940s movies, 1948, Fred Astaire, Spring. So yeah, I definitely use tags. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. The only difference is I had a sale for once, but I guess that's because I actually have 1,000 listings instead of the 5 or 10 that I had previously. Yeah, Kelly's struggling too as far as getting hip to accept every listing from his eBay. It's still like dragging. And the thing that really bugs me, Corey, is that they're not responding anymore. Like they were very eager to get people back. I know Kelly had like a little deal with them, and Connie had a little deal with them and stuff, which is cool. It's actually kind of pathetic from their perspective. If you think about it, you got to like almost beg people to come back to your platform. That's pretty sad. But if I can't blame them for trying. Free is a good price, and in my case, I wasn't asked to come out. I had no business being asked for a deal on it, but I did decide to go back because I finally have some postcards listed. I got into my postcard thing a month and a half ago, I guess. Probably let's call it September. About 2 months now. And I figured, hey, what the heck? Now I got 1,000. Let me try it. And now I got a sale, so that's pretty cool. But again, a lot of screw ups when it comes to the transition over from eBay, which is just like an extra headache. That's true for sure, Dawn. And in the case of the jacket that sold today, it sold higher than I had it listed for on eBay. You'll pay the price not to work a 9 to 5. Well, preaching to the choir there. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The sharing and all that. And again, no disrespect to those who enjoy Poshmark. I'm sure it's a very cool site. I'm sure people do really well on it. It's just not for me. Doesn't mean it's a bad site. It's a different type of site. And I commend companies for being unique and individual and trying to come up with new ways and innovative ways to sell stuff. I think all that is cool. But again, I'm just not. To me, part of you're paying fees and all the things that we've discussed on all these platforms, right? For the right to be seen, more or less, right? For the ability to show your wares to the world online, virtually. So then if you have to on top of pay the fees, then you have to handhold these things individually and share your closet and share your store constantly just to try to get a sale. That's sort of counterproductive. Like, why are we paying fees? That's what we're paying Poshmark to do, right? That's how I feel anyway. Oh, nice. You got your scanner. Cool. That's okay. Cool. Which one? You got the my scanner, the big one? Or you talk about the duplex, or both? Scanner is a life-changing event if you're doing paper. And as we talked about on Friday, remember, it's not just for paper. I take scans of 78s. I'll show everybody again, just in case you didn't check the show out. And how dare you not check the show out Friday, but oh, it's a green screen and it's a green label. Isn't that cool? That's a cool looking record. Anyway, you can you can put 78s, you can put 45s, you can even put LP covers in my scanner, and you get a really nice legible label. You don't have to worry about any of the lighting and the curvature sort of when you use a camera. It's a godsend, this scanner. I love it. The Etsy model seems to discourage low dollar long tail items. Super easy to lose money on a cheap postcard to the point where it wasn't worth listing. Oh yeah, and I didn't even think about postcards. My thing was going to be the print ads, is what I really wanted to try to port over there. But that's a good point. You opened 1 year ago, don't have anything. Yeah, I only have 30 something listings. So trust me, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Tommy. Yeah, but what I'm doing is, you do see I got the background going. I'm not going to share screens tonight, Tommy. I noticed the trend that whenever I shared a screen, it would kind of cripple everything. So let's see. So far, so good. We're about 45 minutes in and no glitches, but good to see you. You got 17,000 common cards. You think it would cost me $30 a month from what I'm hearing? It wouldn't be worth it. I definitely get that. Yep. Dawn, you're listing so fast, so much sold, so much. It was being old and scared of technology. Nope. Embrace it. Just not Poshmark. Don't share stuff. Did you get the big one, Michelle? Maybe you wrote and I missed it. Did you get my big old Optic Slim? On Etsy, you talk about, right, Dawn? That's right. You showed me that. I think that's interesting. The cards. Selling paper on Poshmark wouldn't work because of the flat ship. Yeah, that's another good point. Etsy fees don't seem any worse than eBay when you look at the big picture store subscription. Exactly, but it's I agreed 100%, and that's what Dawn was saying. But it's a sort of a choose your poison. Do you want to pay up front or do you want to pay on the back end? You're going to pay either way. That's obvious. I don't mind that. It's just if I want to dabble in moving a bunch of stuff like 1,000 or 2,000 items from eBay to Etsy, it's a big upfront cost. That's 20 cents per. And again, the stuff, you're in a unique situation. You sell shoes, that's your primary thing. From what you've discussed, it's different for long tail people like a lot of us are. People are selling the long tail, the postcards, the ads, the ephemera. To put all that money up front, just to list the stuff, like hundreds of dollars just to get some listings up on Etsy, it's going to probably take a while to recoup any of that. That's my only trepidation. Yeah, mine didn't last more than a month, Kelly. So I opened one too because my daughter told me to. And it's funny. The day we opened the store, we sold a Disney shirt, one of my wife's couple-year-old Disney shirts. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest site. I mean, I'm talking like an hour after my first listing it sold. Never sold another thing in a month. So I closed it. Not to beat a dead horse, but I just didn't like the fact that you have to constantly promote yourself on a platform. Just duplex. Okay, cool. Awesome, Michelle. That's phenomenal. Yeah, the duplex. Oh, it's a life-changing thing. The front and back stuff. I don't know if you do postcards. You have 13,000 listings. I'm sure you do a lot of things. If you do the print ad stuff, you could fit. There's a whole bunch of magazines that will absolutely fit in your duplex. I'm opening it. That's why I'm looking over here. I want to make sure. I wanted to see what the maximum width was. I think it's 8.5 by 11 or 11. A4, whatever that equates to, is the widest. But anyway, you could fit a lot of print ads in there too and scan them beautifully and lightning fast. Just be careful with the paper. Some of it's kind of thin. Allie started with clothes. Cool. And you enjoy it, Allie? Having the word closet in your name is interesting because that's what they call it in Poshmark, right? You have to keep sharing your closet. Oy vey. Oh, big time. Absolute game changer. Hey, Cameron, how you doing? I was in and out. What's the word we use? Lursting during your 8-hour marathon yesterday. It was kind of cool. Hope you had fun doing it. Cameron had an 8-hour show yesterday, a working show, 8 hours plus, right? A couple of minutes over the 8 hours, doing listing and shipping, all the stuff. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. That's all right. Good night so far. Knock on wood. No technical gremlins. It looks like StreamYard's behaving well. Some good news was shared earlier on as far as the eBay standard envelope thing that was crushing my that one stat on the store about having your items getting the scan. All cleared up, back to 100%. So no harm, no foul. All those dolls. Michelle makes beautiful, beautiful dolls. Have you ever talked about that on the show, Michelle? Feel free to. Did you do well on Halloween? Did you sell some of those for Halloween? She does these homemade. She takes old porcelain dolls and kind of repurposes them, like with horror themes, stuff like that, different clothing and makeup, and they're very unique and really cool. She had done she did a whatnot a couple of months ago that I caught with all those dolls. I thought they were amazing. And that you would think is like tailor-made for Etsy, that kind of stuff. Kelly, it's more the dollar value. $8 shirt, $7 shipping doesn't fly. $50 shirt, $7 shipping, they don't care. Bundles. There you go. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Sharing multiple times a day became the norm too, or the expectation, which is just too much. Too much manual intervention on that site for my liking. Oh, I think you would do really well with that. I haven't seen anybody else. You have something really unique and creative, which is again sort of what Etsy is known for. I think you'd do great on there. Really, that's cool to know. Anything with animals, movies, fashion would do well in there. Cool. Thank you. Well, I have the Easter Parade up there, and it's been up there for a long time and hasn't sold on Etsy. But point well taken. Emporium, etc. Opening up an old wound. probably complained about this at some point in the last few months. But yeah, that happened to me on my very first Etsy sale. It was a Marlboro jacket that my dad had for years. Marlboro cigarettes. Like he signed up for some kind of giveaway or whatever, and he won this really nice leather jacket. It was a really cool jacket. So I sold it on eBay. Excuse me, on Etsy, not knowing about that offsite ads thing, which you kind of automatically put into unless you opt out, which they make it very difficult to find. I didn't know that. I was new at Etsy, and I got creamed. I wound up paying like 50% of the cost. I think more than that. Between shipping and all these promotional fees and whatnot, I lost like 50% on that jacket, and it killed me. Talk about a turnoff to a new platform. And again, shame on me for not reading all the rules, but the fact that they opt you into the, what is it called? Offsite ads. Yeah, they opt you in. 50% is a hardy amount too. 8.5 by 11 on the duplex. Yep. Right. You could definitely do, exactly. You could do longer because it's a scanner. Yep. Yeah, I know Dawn has talked about that. Yes, definitely be careful, Michelle, if you put the ads through the scanner. I mean, again, I that's why you want to have your trimmer as well. You want to have, before you hit the scanner, make sure your ads are nice and neat and trimmed. Right, Dawn? This way they don't get snagged in there and tears will not be shed. That's cool. Hey, GP, how you doing? Good to see you. Is there a way to look at solds on Etsy? I defer to Dawn Wright, the queen of Etsy. I have a store, GP. I had a sale today. Kind of doing backflips. It's not a common occurrence that I get a sale on Etsy. I mean, I could look, and normally I would share a screen, but again, I don't want to have. I'm afraid of StreamYard now. A way to look at solds on Etsy. Dawn, over to you. We got to get Dawn on this show. I think we're gonna do. You know what I'm trying to push for with Dawn? She's a little. I know it's gonna sound funny. Shy. She's not really shy, but she doesn't want to. A lot of people like that. They don't want to go in front of a camera. Totally fine. But I would love to have Dawn Wright. Maybe we'll do like an audio only, like the podcast I'm going to be doing. Maybe we'll have Dawn as an audio guest. I think she'd be a fantastic guest on the show. Dawn says offsite ads can be turned off unless you make over 10,000. Right. Is that a new thing, Dawn? I heard everybody talking about that recently. Yeah, forcing you into the ads if you make over 10,000. Is that gross, I assume, Dawn? Glitter Witch, how you doing? Welcome back. It's been a little while. Hope you had a wonderful Halloween. You would think it's got to be right up there as your favorite day of the year. Great to see you. You have to Google it. There's your answers. That is kind of weird. I can't believe you can't go into the platform and check. Well, I'll tell you what. This is why, although it's kind of in vogue to rip on eBay and whine and complain about eBay all the time, I really don't do that. I try consciously not to do that because I am a fan of the platform. And if you look at all these other platforms and their shortcomings and you go to eBay, you realize it's a really cool site. I mean, yeah, it has problems like everything does, but all in all, man, the ability to do these bulk edits on so many different things, the ability to tweak your listings constantly. There's just a lot of options that don't exist on other platforms. Like something as simple as this question. What a great question. Why can't you look at solds on Etsy? Like that's a limitation, you know? So I just want to, where's my eBay flag? I'm going to wave the flag for eBay for a minute. I think we're all big fans of the site. You sold a ton of the dolls. It was a nice break from paper, but back at it now. That's awesome. Well, it's so much work to do the work to decorate them the way you do. So beautiful stuff, Michelle. Do it. I would definitely do it on Etsy. You could probably open a store I don't know if you have enough to warrant a store, but you could probably open a shop that's just about those dolls because they're so original. I think you'd do great. Oh, nice. What's a ton? Everybody has a different definition of what a ton of postcards represents. But that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I agree. I think she would do amazing. Photos, 1903. That's quite a variety of photos. Good for you, Glitter Witch. That's very cool. Yep. You've definitely ripped a few nice postcards and prints by not trimming them down. Tears were shed. Yeah, you don't want tears shed, man. I don't want to jinx myself. I've never had an issue with it. I've done thousands and thousands of print ads, listed them, never had a problem because I mean, I'm just Watch the videos. You'll see I'm maniacal about that stuff. I use my trimmer and I make sure everything is good before I throw them in a scanner. But that's why the flatbed is going to be a godsend for you, Kelly, for the bigger ads. I know it's a little more time consuming. You can't feed them through a machine as quickly, but you won't have to worry about rips and tears and all that stuff. And tears will no longer be shed. Tears of joy when you make your money. Poshmark was such a struggle before you understood it. It was hard as crap to make $1,500 a month. Once I learned the demand for women's running shoes on there. Now, obviously, it's amazing, man. God bless you. And so you're a great representative to talk about the good things about Poshmark. Are you sharing again, please, I know nothing about it other than I had it for a month. Are you sharing out your closet like 20 times a day? Like, what does it take to be successful other than is it just about the merchandise you have? You found a niche that's super popular and away you go? Or do you have to really get in there and work this store constantly? A Dawn podcast would be good. Dawn could definitely be a guest on my podcast because I'm doing a podcast, folks. It's actually done. The first one's done. I just have to upload it. The first podcast is complete. And look for an announcement on that. No, but you know Etsy well. You know the platform a whole lot better than me. I don't know how many people out here are huge Etsy aficionados. You do well on it. I was going to say nothing. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of work behind the scenes too. But kudos to him for finding it's a perfect platform for what he's selling. And he found, like you said, he gave you the answer right there. Huge demand for women's running shoes. So if anybody else out there has the ability to pick up women's running shoes at a good price, then you have a platform to sell them on. You used to do a lot of shoes in there too. Very cool. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear. Are you better now? Hope you're better. Yeah, pleasure to have you, Glitter Witch. Missed you. Yeah, see, it really is. It's a pain. And again, it's probably from lack of familiarity for me. It's a very different presentation than eBay. Like the listing template, if you will, it's different, which of course you would expect. It's not eBay. And a lot of the things, like I would have to it would take me, if I'm copying and pasting ads, the pictures are easy enough to just go over, but the title is easy enough to go over. But there's, like Dawn said, there's a bunch of tags that you have to utilize to be successful on that. So that you'd have to input manually every time. I'm sure you could save it to a document or something, and just copy and paste. But you know what I mean? It's a lot of work. It'd probably take me minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes to do one listing. That's a lot of time. If you're going to do 1,000 of them or 2,000 of them, my God, plus pay all that money up front. I'm not really making excuses. I'm just saying that's why for me, I don't know if if I want to do that right now. Maybe there'll come a time when I do, but it's just a lot of upfront costs and a lot of time upfront. Interesting. That's why I want her on. I can't wait to hear this. All she does is rip on everybody else, so I can't wait to hear this girl's voice. A boot, exactly. What are you talking about? Yeah, the tags will be. It's just different, Dawn. It's a different template. That's all. It is effortless. I do nothing on there other than ship. Wife crossbows and bots run everything. Tags. I'm gonna get her on. We'll do an audio interview. Yeah, it's still right. Of course, it's still work. You saw some great postcards, photos, and ads. Right now, you're focusing on hard goods. Okay, cool. Great song. I don't know the movie, but I love the song. I was playing the song today, as a matter of fact. Disraeli Gears. Cream. The Cream. Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. Makes sense, I think, is what GP meant. Oh, yeah, very, very, very good, man. It is a game changer. I know you have some ads. Yeah, exactly. No Canadian cliches. No Rush in the background. Come on. Glitter Witch hasn't counted them yet, but easily 100 postcards and maybe the same or more. Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah, that's why I asked what one person considers a bunch of postcards versus what other people consider a bunch of postcards can often differ. But that's great. Good luck with them. You have a bot that shares for you every 2 hours, sends offers. Oh, okay, so you sign up for a, yeah, I don't know, Posh server. That's pretty funny. So you pay something to automate all that stuff, and it's money well spent. Obviously, you're pulling down that kind of cash every month. That's awesome. Living the dream, man. Streamlined process, inventory, a wife that helps you. Pfft. Yeah. But you know what I mean, Don? For me, it would be cross-posting from my Etsy stuff. So it would be doubly as long. I'd be copy and pasting stuff that applies, and then other stuff that doesn't apply, I'd have to just input. It'd take a long time to do that. I haven't found, I read and I saw videos about, what is the name of the stupid site? It's going to, of course, I'm not going to be able to remember. But there's a site that you can upload all your eBay stuff to, then you can push it out to other sites. What is it called? Shopify. I don't know if that's a valid. Shopify is whatever it is, $30 a month, let's say. Maybe it's worth it to do that if that again is something that can be done, to upload 2,000 ads from my eBay to Shopify and then push it out to Etsy automatically. That would be, to me, that's money well spent. I wouldn't mind paying that, even if I did it once and just got 2,000 listings and paid $30. But then again, I'm still going to have the, what is it, $400 in listing fees. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Very cool. You are a Canadian cliche. Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah, I know. I'm only joking about it. I think it's not really a bad accent at all. Yeah, no, I definitely get it. I'm still complete newbie with postcards, but I love them. I'll tell you that. I'm over 1,000 already, 1,200. Probably more than that. And then I just picked up a lot from John the other night. It was a small. See, that's funny. Not what we're talking about. The perspective. It was a lot of 140, which seems like nothing. It's like a couple of extra postcards that I just want to keep for a rainy day. But for you, if you're new to it, it's like, wow, 140 is a lot. I definitely understand. And for me to say, wow, I have 1,200 postcards, these guys are laughing. It's like, I list 1,200 a day. It's all a matter of perspective. There we go. Never a bad time for a well-placed Canadian joke, by the way. That's what the polar bears are for. List perfectly. I used, what is the name of the site that I used? Hold on. Vendoo. I had Vendoo for a little while, which is the same kind of thing. It's a cross-posting software. Now, all I cared about is cross-posting. I know a lot of people talk about, the limitations of many of these cross-posts is that they don't automatically, if something sells on one site, it doesn't automatically take it down on the other one. And you do run the risk of, potentially double selling something, and which is bad, it could lead to bad feedback and all that stuff. I get that. But for my purposes, for what I want to do on the ads, I wouldn't mind manual. I don't think the ads are going to fly off the shelves. I'm not going to sell $8,000 in ads a month. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but I'm not really worried about that. So if 2 or 3 even sell on Etsy or something, I could just go in and manually take it down on eBay. It's not the biggest deal in the world to me. The big deal is the actual cross posting, the time that would take me, as I've alluded to here, of manually copying and pasting all these different fields, along with uploading all the photographs. Which again, for print ads is great because there's only one. It's not like I'm doing a lot of photos. It's very, very time consuming. So something like List Perfectly or Vendoo, which is what I used, would be advantageous for me. I wouldn't mind paying the month. Again, I could do it once. That's the cool thing. You could pay 1 month fee if you want. Move over, in my case, 2,000, let's say, and call it a day. Now I got 2,000 live listings on Etsy and see what happens. And then maybe I'd be in a better position to gauge Etsy, for me anyway, for my sort of stuff, if it's something worth keeping up or not. It would just be such a commitment of time, not to mention the $400, but the time of listing all these things one by one. My God, it would take me weeks, probably. Susan, is polar bear sitting for you right now? Is she... Not sure if it's vintage. How you doing? She calls chicken breast. That's hysterical. Chicken boobs. I'm going for Friday, 18th, I believe. I'll coordinate it. I'm gonna write John because I know I'm gonna hang out with him and meet him, which is I'm looking forward to. So I don't know if he's going both days or one. I think we planned on Friday, but I can go either day. It doesn't matter. Are you going to just one day? Oh no, you just said you'll go both days. Very cool. Yeah, for me it's an hour and a half drive. It's not a very long drive at all. Pied Piper Postcards Plus. Lake Erie. Oh, okay. Very cool, man. Congratulations. Yes, I did the same thing because I had different. You've seen the Disney family thing, which I still love, but I have my Jiminy Flip It thing. Exactly. I'm just trying to have consistent branding across all platforms and social media and all that stuff. So very good. Welcome. So goodbye to Lake Erie. Welcome Pied Piper Postcards Plus. A bit of a tongue tie and a cool, got like a Scottish guy there with the blowing the horns. Very cool. Welcome. I like the name too. It's a cool name. Once Flip is finished adding Etsy support, it will be worth the price of free. It works almost flawlessly for eBay. Really? Flip. I don't even know what that is. FLYP. Flip. AI for the resale world. Turns close to cash. How it works. Is it only close? I don't know what it is. I just looked it up quick and said I was talking about clothes selling. No, I don't know Susan in Canada. I guess that's a Canadian joke again, Dawn. I don't know. It doesn't auto end, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not turned off by that. Like if I was, I could understand it being a huge concern if you're pushing, if you're moving 50 items a day, 100 items a day, you know, depending on what you sell and all. Then yeah, that could definitely be problematic if things are not syncing. But for my needs, for just trying to cross post some print ads to Etsy, I'm not concerned about like, you know, missing one or something. I think it would be pretty easy to just manually go. It takes a second to go into one of the other sites and just take a listing down. Totally agree. Oh, is that the equivalent? You'll be there both days. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see. I want my wife to go, and I don't know which day works better for her. I had it marked down on the 18th, though. But again, it's only an hour and a half ride for me. It's not a big deal. Yeah, definitely, man. Look forward to meeting you. We'll have to like coordinate this a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of walk in and say hi. I really don't know what to expect. It's my first card show. Just go in there with a smile on my face and see what this is all about. It's a dig at Americans who think all Canadians know each other. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Love it. Congratulations. I like it. I'm totally in the same boat as you with the trying to keep it consistent across platforms. Because as you get into more things, it becomes more of a hassle. If you have all, like I had a different name for Etsy, a different name for Discogs, a different name for Poshmark, even when I did the Poshmark for a month. You know, so I made everything the Jiminy Flip It thing. No, you just have to get the seller account. They have a sourcing side as well where they can buy clothes from you. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Cross posting is different. Yeah. Cool. You'll be sitting at the table with postcards. Surprise, surprise. Along with 10 million other people. No, I don't know. I mean, I'll know who to look for. I don't know what Jim looks like. So Jim, we're gonna have to maybe we'll exchange number. Anybody write me at jiminyflipit@gmail.com. Popeye could do the same thing. I'll write on here just so we could coordinate. Say, hey, we'll all meet at whatever time and just say hi or whatever and hang out a little while. They have any food there? Do they have any like food booths or anything? We could grab something to eat. Cup of coffee. Yeah, Quebec is, yeah. They want to be their own country. Pie Dawn. I will look into that. So, Tommy, they're working on supporting Etsy. It's not something that exists currently. I want to look into this. That's all I care about. I just want the ability to cross post stuff. I don't care about the syncing stuff so much. And I know, again, I had Vendu and it works. And the same thing within Vendu, you could just mark something as sold. I don't know if anybody ever used Vendo. It's the same thing as List Perfectly. They're all kind of the same. It's you would go in, let's say you sold something on Etsy and you had the corresponding, the same listing on eBay. I would just go into Vendu when something sold on Etsy, mark it as, all you have to do is mark it as sold on Etsy. It said, what platform did you sell it on? Etsy? And then it would automatically take it down from the other site. So it's very little effort. In fact, I'm getting kind of fired up. Maybe I'll go renew my Vendu. But hey, if there's a free alternative that works, I'm all for that. The moment pad. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the joke at all. Keith, how you doing, Keith? I can narrow it down. I'll be the fat, bald, old curmudgeon. No. Yeah, other Canadians don't like Quebec, huh? They want to be France. Possibly. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they have any grub at this place. Yugoslavian for Keith. There you go. They have food inside. Oh, cool. Nice. Sweet. Remember the Yugo? Yeah, exactly. I make a habit of doing the same thing. I won't like just call people out by their names unless they say it's okay or whatever, or if I know them. You'll be at the food cart. There you go. Glitter Witch says, does postage and writing on postcards make them easy, less valuable? All these have belonged to the same person, so they basically tell a story. Supposedly, no. But again, I defer to the gurus that are in attendance here. I don't think it really makes any difference at all if it's written on the back or not. Like when I was first listening, I would write like unposted and posted, and I'm starting to realize it really doesn't matter. It's the picture that sells the postcard, right, John? Right, Kelly? Right, Connie? That's what I think. Dawn is pro food cart. You usually throw a few protein bars and a few bars of water in backpacks so you don't have to get up. Just sit at the table. Oh, wow. Very cool, Joe. The thing is, it's a beautiful, I've been up there. It's beautiful. Yep. You go get a new car. There you go. Or as they say in Quebec, oui, oui. You go your way, I'll go mine. Bring a magnifying glass, a pencil to mark all the boxes you look through, and a container of that Swartwick finger. Oh my God. My wife kills me for that. I am so guilty of licking my fingers. With print ads, I do the same thing. She got me a case of. Oh, you can't see it because it's green. You know the little rubber. I can't believe I keep picking everything I have is green. Well, anyway, it's a little. There's got to be a way to bypass the green screen. No, it's one of those little rubber thumb things that you're supposed to use to like thumb through postcards. Of course, I picked the green one, but I have like a whole pack of them. I never use them though. I'm a big fan of licking the finger. That's good advice though. See, this is not lost on me. Let me tell you, I'll be making notes about things like this because I don't want to get there and go, oh man, I forgot the whatever. Oh yeah, it's definitely intriguing. Yeah, you really should. You should have a big poster in back of them. Follow me on whatnot. The question was from Glitterwitch, right? Was it Glitterwitch that asked? My goodness. Let me go back. Asking if writing on a card has any bearing or not as far as value or the postage. And I know like one stamp in a billion are worth something. Usually the stamps are pretty much generic stamps. And my understanding is that the writing doesn't really make that big of a difference either way in value. I used to, when I first started, back in September when I started at this, I would write posted or unposted. And I started realizing, who cares? So the question was really, do you think it impacts value if it's written on the back or not? Well, Connie's saying sometimes the messages seldom only. You know, it's something that's really worth taking the time to do is look at who it's to and who it's from. Could you imagine if you get a postcard that's from somebody really famous or to somebody really famous? That might be worth flipping over now and then just taking a look at. You're close to bringing your own chair pillow. There you go. Motivation to move is just falling away by the wayside. Is Ontario the most populated, what do you call them, provinces? Probably. Exactly, John. A little rubber, yeah, a little rubber. And it has like I can't believe I don't have another color. I picked the green one. I have like a whole pack of multicolored ones, and the only one I have in front of me is green. It's just a little rubber thing. They don't really work. It's much easier to just go. Yeah, that's good advice, actually. Mark the boxes. That's very good. Yes, exactly. She is. Oh, please. That's what. Wait till we get this girl on the audio interview. Oh, she's a hoot. Yeah, but God knows what you're putting on your mouth. That's really a good point. Even me with the I'm thumbing through 100-year-old magazines too. Probably not the best stuff to put in your mouth. Crossings in Canada, UK, Australia, water people. Not familiar with it, but it sounds cool. Sometimes the writing will sell the card. Wow, secret codes, messages, and Morse code messages from over one service. Wow, good stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they do. But you're a stamp guy, Steven, so you know what you're looking for. Your nose in, read a lot of them. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Just getting on. You've been listening, cleaning up your office. No problem. Welcome to the show. Ribbed for his postcard. Yeah, that's right. I have the magnum-sized thumb. How often are the postcards? Oh, what do you guys tell us what to go for the box, initials, you can scroll from one to another. I gotta learn what you. So you sign like a little thing that says you were there or something. Cool. That's really good advice, actually. I planned on bringing cash, but thing is, if all they do is take cash, why would you get a discount? Like if it's the only option anyway. But yeah, regardless, I'll take cash. 100-year-old dust. Well, the good thing to think about is anything that might have been like a microbial sort of a thing is long dead. So Got to bring the stacks. Cash is king. No problem. You'll see it on the edge of the box. You'll have people's initials. You'll stick yours on there for next. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'll tell you a really quick story. In February of 2002, I had a Beatles show in Toronto, and we were gonna fly, but everybody wanted to be cheap and drive. So guess who had to drive? Me. At the time, I had a minivan because I had 5 young kids at the time. 4 young kids. My last one wasn't born yet. Took the minivan, Niagara Falls, the whole thing. At the time, I was living in New Jersey. There was no Google or anything to look up. I guess they had MapQuest, but whatever. We just mapped it out. We knew how to go. We get to the border to go to Canada, and it was really late at night. It was no problem at all. But coming back home after the show, which was like, I think we stayed there for 2 days, 2 things happened. It was the SARS. Remember the SARS thing, which is like a precursor to the COVID thing? People were wearing masks in Toronto, and the day we got to Toronto, the American government put a ban on or a limitation. You weren't supposed to travel to Toronto. Well, we were already there, so I'm like, that was surreal. But much worse was coming back home into crossing the border to go back to the U.S. in my minivan with my bandmates and all the stuff in the back, all the equipment. Well, the guy who played George at the time, he's now 71 years old. So then you figure he was about 50. He's like an old hippie, and he's a big pot smoker, and he would go and he kept raving about the tobacco was so much better in Toronto or Canadian, whatever. So we had like stashes of stuff in the van that I didn't know about. And who's driving? Me. Whose license is it? Me. You didn't need a passport. You just had to show I think now you need a passport, but you didn't need your passport yet. You just needed a driver's license. So we get to like the gate. It looks like a toll booth or whatever, and a bunch of cops come out and we're like, where you going? Where'd you come from? Blah, blah. And everything was fine until he saw all the stuff in the back because we had all the musical equipment. He's like, you mind if I take a look in the back quick? I said, no. Thank God they didn't find what this guy had, but he was asking questions like, what's this, what this? And we're like, oh, that's a guitar case. That's, just making up stuff. And I was starting to sweat because we were there for like 15 minutes. And usually it's really quick. You go in and out. They let us go. We get to the other side, and this idiot, he's like, ha ha ha, I got it. I got through again or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He had like a whole bag of like tobacco and pot and stuff that he got in Canada. And again, who's driving the car? I would have been the one like going to jail for smuggling drugs. Oh, he's not in the band anymore. But man, oh man, that was awful. Yeah, that's very true. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, it was just a driver's license. These things are so old. The address is written on them. Literally have the name and state and no street address. That's cool. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot. It's really interesting reading the stories and all that stuff. I dig that stuff. But right now I'm just trying to sell some postcards. Like I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty with it, but I could definitely see the attraction. I don't think she's on the show right now, but get the YouTube channel correct before I say the wrong name. I thought it was really cute. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to pull up a YouTube name. Marketplace Boutique. Jody. I couldn't think of the name of her store. I was going to say Jody. Marketplace Boutique has a channel on YouTube. Go check it out. It's a nice channel. And she does a segment. It's pretty interesting, like once a week, where she reads old postcards or she reads old things that she finds to resell. And she'll do like a whole video about, reading the story of like a World War II letter to the, to the soldiers, to the wife and all that stuff. It's really pretty cool. If you're into that stuff, you might enjoy that. Over on, I was going to put a link in for her. Hold on. Marketplace Boutique is the channel. It's Jody, who's often in our show. I don't think she's here tonight. Maybe she's lurching, as they say. But I'll put a link in there really quick for her. Check it out. We're actually her new video, 1944 World War II love letter. And she reads the letters. It's kind of cool. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, Glitter Witch. I think you might really enjoy this. If you're not familiar with Jody's stuff, check out that link I just put in there. You probably get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's pretty easy to get to Canada from Maine. They don't ask questions. Just need your passport. Cool. It wasn't like that in Toronto in 2002. Let me just tell you. Or whatever. It's not Toronto. What's the... Dawn might know. I don't even know what the border is. It's right by the Niagara Falls. Like, and then you have to loop around the lake and go up to Toronto. The ride was so much longer than I anticipated. That was an awful experience. Well, you didn't need a passport until fairly recently. You just needed a driver's license. We were there in 2002 and we didn't need a passport yet. Well, even in 2002, because it was February, like I said, it was only a couple of months later. Maybe they hadn't, probably sometime later in the year they did it. Yeah, you never needed a passport. Used to get through just an ID in high school. Used to go to St. John's. Yes, quite friendly borders. But the moral of that story that nobody's acknowledging is don't smuggle stuff across the border. Don't do it. And again, because it was February, it was only a couple of months later, everybody was kind of on, eggshells, obviously, with all this stuff. And maybe that's why they were being extra careful and looking through the van. Thank God they didn't find this stuff. My God. And I didn't even know about it until after. St. John's is in Newfoundland. We always wind up talking Canada on this show. Canadian postage. Now we got Canadian geography going. Canada always creeping itself into the conversation. If you're enjoying the conversation, folks, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Exactly. Polar bears, igloos, everywhere you look. 20 inches of snow on the ground all year round. Never thaws. Oh, really? I guess it depends on who you get at the border, who the agent is that's at the border crossing at a given point, right? Like everything else in life. Depends on who you get, what their mood is that day. Great, great, great granddaughter. Holy cow. That's right. Oh, yeah. Australia is a stone's throw away. That's pretty funny. The times they are changing, huh, Dawn? John, I don't know if you caught my exciting news. I sold a postcard on HIP today. My first one. Very excited. I was about to bail on them again and say forget it and just delete everything and tell them to give my money back. But now I sold one, so now I'll stick it out at least this month. Pretty psyched. No dings, no cha-chings. You just get an email. But it was still pretty cool. Actually, the reason I realized I sold it was I got a PayPal notification that somebody had put in $8 and whatever. I'm like, what is this? And then I saw the email. Pretty pumped. What is NB? Does anybody know? Colette, isn't that a town in France also? That's pretty funny. You never know. They might have heard the show with everybody complaining about it. You saw it on Delcam. Cool. Awesome, man. How many did you wind up? How many do you have listed on Delcamp, if you don't mind sharing? Because I know you were doing what I just described, right? Manually copying, pasting everything. How many did you manage to get up on Delcamp? New Brunswick. There you go. Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. You see, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have Dawn on, right, on the audio interview. She's going to tell us all about the Canadian culture, the Canadian country. She's going to tell us her background. She's going to give us a brief 20-minute history of the country of Canada. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to get all the geography down. We're going to talk currency. We're going to talk shipping. We really, and I'm not even joking, I really would love to have her on to talk about Canadian shipping, because we talk all the time, and it just seems like such a pain in the neck. Everything is so expensive from a Canadian point of view when they try to ship things to the US, and it's a huge hassle. It's a shame for bordering countries that are so friendly with one another that they have to have this ridiculous greedy nature to make money and screw the people. $250. Okay, that's a lot of listings considering you did it all manually, and you sold one. That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I remember Auction Professor talked about that they sold well. When you list them, include the family's names, locations. They're always descendant searching. That's a great point, Connie. Yes, please, if you don't mind. Thank you, Lee. To leave a like, guys. I'd appreciate it very much. I am up to, got to give you the countdown. I'm not going to keep boring people with this, especially once I cross over, but 936. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to have a fun show when I cross over that 1,000. We really are going to have a fun show. Going to do some giveaways. I might even play some music for everybody. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a big show. Really big shoe. Dawn's going to come on. A special guest. That would be pretty funny, actually. We'll have Dawn on as a special guest, celebrating the 1,000 subscriber show. Sending offers right now on some print ads, guys. Hold on. Just got a bunch all of a sudden. Move them out. Everything must go. All right. Just take care of a little business. Yeah, Glitter Witch, it's been a little while since you've been on because you said you were ill, but between Connie and Kelly and John, certainly, and a handful of others, and Mark, who's not here tonight, but that's okay. A lot of absolute experts in the postcard game are in attendance right now, so it's a great opportunity if you have questions about them or anything. And they're all very friendly. Well, most of them are really friendly people and never have any trouble or any problem helping people out, including myself, trying to get into postcards. It is an addiction. I was told, I was warned, and despite it all, I am full-blown addict. Yep, me too. It would be a lot of fun. Thank you, Glitter Witch. I have a little over 320 on Delcom. Wow, holy cow. Oh, the airplane. That's right. Yeah. That's all right. Would you mind giving us a one-sentence little rundown on fees and stuff for Delcamp, just if anybody's interested in doing it? Is it do you pay listing fees? Do you pay a store fee? How does it work? Oh, you don't have to do anything. I don't really. I'm just curious. No, but thank you, Stephen. It's moving nicely. Every time I would hit 100, 200, every time you get to a new 100, let's say, at least that's where I am right now, right? Until I get to 1,000. Certain ones seem to take I got to 500 and I was so excited, and then it just kind of stalled. And then you have a little burst and it stalls. Well, again, I don't want to jinx myself because now I'm really close, but the 900s are flying by. I just hit 900 a couple of days ago, and now it's 936. So again, thank you so much for everybody who subscribed. I really do appreciate it very much. It's an honor to have everybody aboard. Hopefully we'll keep growing. It's a lot of fun. I love doing these shows. You'd be nervous and obnoxious to compensate. Yeah, but you could give good advice on cards. You have a lot of cards. Okay, nobody wants to admit they're an expert. They're really good people that really know postcards well. John's an expert. Definitely. Oh, that's cool. Looks like Connie's ranked number 15. Yeah, expert starts at 14. Exactly. She's an aspiring expert. She's a connoisseur. That's right. Everybody knows 14 is where you want to be. Oh, man. That's not cool. Well, that's a whole other conversation. Gets a listing. About to chop the tail off a cat. Well, you just lost so much for... Dawn's gonna be out of the show now. She loves her cats. And we do not condone such behavior here on this channel, just so you know. Cat tail shall not be chopped off. You try and blame the chat. You're supposed to be lursting, Connie, right? Isn't that what we do? Lursting? Lursting. You could list, participate when you feel the need. Oh, I know. Yeah, it is a very weird thing to have on a postcard, that's for sure. Number 20. Way to go, man. You know, speaking of which, and Tommy was the one that talked about this about a month ago. Great idea for those who haven't done it before to pull down that reporting that they give you. The which I haven't done in a while. The listing report has all kinds of analytics for you. Listings quality report. That's the term. Do they break, when you guys say you're number 15 and you're number 20 and everything, is that, when I looked at the report, it's like it breaks it down by topographical, non-topographical, right? Like, do you have to rank in each one of them separately, or is it kind of a universal ranking for postcards? Because when I look at my little tabs at the bottom, 99% of my listings, I'm sure most people's are that do postcards, are the non-topographical stuff. Oh no, I have a topographical. I mean, I have a non-topographical tab. Where do you see your overall ranking? I'm 60. Your rank GMV in this section, 60 out of 4,882. That doesn't sound too bad for somebody that's doing it 2 months, right? Right? Yes, Dawn. Yes. Yep. And then I heard you're lursting it. Okay, no problem, Kim. I thought you had an offer on a bunch of them you were telling me the other day. Didn't somebody buy a bunch? People collect everything, Dawn. No problem. Enjoy it. Yeah, because you're 3 hours behind, so enjoy. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Back at it tomorrow. Sure. Separate. Okay, there is a separate. Where can you find a store's rank? 76. Yeah. Yep, that's the listings quality report. Yeah, I'm 60 on topographical. Pretty cool to me. Someone bought a bunch, but this one is just a picture of the food and can. Okay, cool. Yeah, people definitely collect that stuff, Dawn. Yeah, that's amazing. It's like just Alpo or whatever, right? Doesn't have the picture of a Great Dane there or something. Separate 15 non 21,020 top 34K. Oh yeah, I know it does. I could probably run another report in 3 hours. It might be different, but it's good. It's just a baseline. 60 is not bad, right? Out of 4,982, whatever the number was. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy. I don't care what the number says. I just want to make money. I want them to sell, and they're selling. The more you list, the more you sell. That's a truism with postcards. That's for sure. And I do sell them intraday, which is just I mentioned that in some of the what sold videos recently, but it's true. If I not today, I actually haven't listed a postcard. That's because I'm running very low. I only have the greeting cards left, and I'm waiting for John's new little stash to come in. But I'll list those quickly. I was listing between 50 and 100 a day for a few days there, and every single one of those days, I would sell one or two at least of the new cards that I just listed that day, which is really cool. That's something I really like about postcards. I'm sure there's a lot of people, the collectors, they probably sort by newly listed, looking for new stuff. So if you have a bunch coming in all at once, odds are you're going to make a sale, or two, or three, or 10. Well, I'm not going to jinx anything now because it's already 8:45, 20 to 9. No gremlins tonight on the StreamYard. Very happy about that. So kudos to StreamYard. Getting the act together. I didn't see anything like an email or anything that says that they fixed whatever the problem was with Google. But right now, everything seems to be fine for the last almost 2 hours. You've missed several lives, but you watch replays. Oh, that's cool. Oh, no problem. It's a pleasure. Thank you. It's really great to have you back, Glitterwish. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I said. A baseline. Yeah, it's a absolutely. I like it. There's a lot of good information in it. Is it the time that like what's the obstacle? You don't have the time. You can't take a day off or something, or a couple of days off. There's just too much money to drive down. Sorry, I had to pause. 50 for a year. The old Golden Show. Okay. Okay, so no listing fees. Again, yeah. Getting back to the earlier in the conversation about Etsy, what I was saying about, it's all up front with Etsy. You don't pay a store fee, but you pay 20 cents a listing. And anyway, they get you, right? 58 a year. Quite reasonable. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Money. Yeah, definitely. I got it. Kelly, where did you, I know you said you've been to a couple, right? I don't know if you've been to a couple. You've been to at least one or two. Where were the ones that you went to? Were they up by you, local, like fairly local to you? Plus, you were selected for jury duty. Oh man, that's brutal. Getting back to Hit Postcard, just 1 second. I'm perusing my store really quickly. I left feedback for the buyer because it gave me the option to leave feedback. I'm wondering if that's like a big thing on Hip, like on eBay, like because obviously right now I'm zero. I just opened my store a couple days ago, hoping to get on the board with a 1 when this one is safely delivered. But I don't know how much of a bearing it has. I'm still pretty down on the way they screwed up my my items coming over from eBay, but more down that they didn't answer this last email. That actually makes me angry. At least say we don't know, or to just ignore it is kind of lousy. Local one in Maine, cool. Yeah, I guess this one is local. I'm in Pennsylvania. It's in Pennsylvania, and it's an hour and a half ride, so it's no big deal at all for me. I'm really looking forward to it. My buddy, the guy that plays George Harrison in my Beatle band, lives in Lidditz, which is a town just a couple of miles north of York, and I go there a lot. So it's a nice, very easy ride. Like no traffic going that way. It's quiet area. Oh, sure. From Maine. Yeah, it's a hike. Quarter to 9. We'll probably call it a night at 9 o'clock. Get a couple hours in the books. Very happy with the way StreamYard's been behaving. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, anything new, anything interesting, good, bad, or indifferent, got about 15 minutes. I will ship the postcard I just sold on Hip was after the mail came. It was like after 5. I think it was like 6 o'clock tonight. So I didn't get a chance to ship it today, obviously, but I'll ship it tomorrow. Shipping on Hip is totally like it's on you. You don't print labels from Hip. If anybody doesn't know this, I hope you do. The proceeds of the Hip stuff goes into my PayPal. You can ship right out of PayPal. If anybody didn't know that, you can. It's actually really convenient. You can use pirate ship or you can use anything you'd like, but you could ship right out of PayPal. And it's kind of cool on a platform like this because it's going to retain all the information from your sale. You just click on ship, and then it kind of pulls in all the information that was on the sale, so everything populates automatically. Print a little label, throw a stamp on it, or whatever method you want to use for your shipping on Hip is up to you. But really simple. But I don't think a lot of people use PayPal for shipping, but they do have a shipping arm of the. They have a lot of things. PayPal has a lot of options. You can actually sell on PayPal, believe it or not. I haven't dabbled in that, but it's kind of cool. Very user friendly, very simple. Yeah, like I said, you could do it right in PayPal, on PayPal. Wow, really? That is cool. Well, I consider this one pretty close to me, an hour and a half. I mean, considering, I don't know, when I hear stories about people going to postcard shows, it's usually like Kelly. It's like a trek, like an all-day event to go to these things. I don't think they're very common all over the country. So I consider myself pretty lucky to have one that's an hour away, hour and a half away. I think it should be pretty cool. Lori made her, whoa, what? YouTube debut? That's okay. Throw a link in there, Lori? You want to throw a link in there? I'd love to go check it out. What were you talking about? All kinds of good stuff? If you can't throw a link in that, you should be able to throw a link in there. Just copy and paste the YouTube channel. See if it lets you. Yeah, what's the channel name? We could also just look at the channel name. But you had to sell 5. That's pretty good work from what I've heard. 5 days in a row. Yeah, I had my one. I'm psyched. 1,095 listings and 1 sale. Okay. Yeah, but you could just put the name of the channel. Just type the name of the channel. And we'll get up. First of all, I'll get back up. You too, Glitterwitch. Yeah, I'm probably going to tune out in about 10 minutes at 9 o'clock. So thanks again for coming on. I'm glad you're feeling better. Welcome back. You have a great night. Lori, if you just want to put the name of the channel in, like just type the name of the channel. Oh, she changed it. Okay, no problem. How did it feel? Were you nervous? I know you said you're a singer, right? So I don't think you have any stage fright or anything like that. But I know it's a big deal for some people. You talking about Hip, Kelly? Like in my case, they haven't written anything. You got an email back from Mark Hip at 1 a.m. this morning about my sync issue. Oh, you did? Yeah, I haven't gotten anything in 4 or 5 days. Oh, totally unacceptable, Connie. Good. Very cool. They're not listing 6 months. Still it's 26 in topograph. Wow. Victorian trade cards, really? So that's something you don't talk about often. That's good stuff. I don't know what the parameters they use to determine where you rank, like exactly what they are. It might be like just a proportion to how many have listed and how many. I don't know. Who knows? Because how I'm number 60 already with 1,100 listings and 2 months of doing it, I don't understand. But whatever. As long as it equates to sales, that's all I care about. All the other numbers are nice, but I'm not going to get a T-shirt that says I'm number 60. Hip, yeah, Hip's not. I don't think they're in the UK. I thought they were West Coast too. I had like 2 or 3 emails when I first set up my store that they were extremely responsive, but it was kind of basic setup stuff. We'd be happy to help. And like, it didn't even have a person's name. It was just like, hip support, whatever department. But once I actually had that issue with the miscategorization, nothing. And I think that was like Wednesday or Thursday last week. So that it really, as Connie said, that is unacceptable. Reselling with Esme. Cool. I'm assuming I'm saying that word right. Esme. Reselling with Esme. Why does she look so familiar? This lady looks so familiar. Was she on somebody else's show that we watch? She looks really familiar. What's the video, Lori? The one that says, oh, she was on Primetime. I was going to say, I've seen a face before. What's the video that you're on? Love Star Rally in Galveston? She was on Dom's show. Yeah, I must have seen that because her face immediately when I saw the her homepage come up, like, I've seen this woman before. Cool. No, and it doesn't matter where they are. They need to answer us, right? LinkedIn says North Carolina. There you go. It's far worse if they're like 3 hours south of me. That's not cool. Short for Esmeralda. There you go. Yeah, that's really bad. Is that the Lori link? Yeah. I'll tell you what, and it's obvious to me that a lot of the issues I'm having with my stuff going over to and being miscategorized is really because I don't have any item specifics in there. Like if I had US and if I had a state minimally, it probably would have brought everything in correctly. But since it must be just pointing to the title, and it's taking, in my case, it's taking Jersey instead of New Jersey and throwing it in a completely wrong category. But I bet you if I had a couple of specifics, it probably wouldn't have been as much of a heartache for me. Dawn linked it. Cool. Yeah, well, check it out. Everybody go check that out after my show. No, I'm only kidding. Check it out whenever you'd like. Yeah. I agree, Lori. But with the postcard thing, at least for the purposes of putting in, of trying to get your items sent over to another platform, it's definitely wreaked havoc because I don't have any specifics filled out right now. On most, I do on some of my postcards. Before I started using the 6-bit thing, I had some listings, but the vast majority have nothing. Yeah, I'll be signing off in 5 minutes, so we'll all go jump and check out Lori's debut. Let me actually open this in another link because I can't do it from StreamYard, unfortunately. That's the thing. You can't open a link on your own chat show in StreamYard. You have to go to YouTube. Good stuff. And I bet you, Connie, because you were saying you don't have any of the problems that I experienced, right, with stuff being miscategorized. I bet you it's because you had minimally the city and the state for sure. And United States is actually one of the things you could put in. If I had those populated, just the state, I might actually add that to my 6-bit. Maybe I'll throw in the state. It doesn't take that long to do. I could save them all as US and just change the state. It'd probably make things a lot smoother when they're going over to HIP. Regardless, it's unacceptable. And they should at least answer me and tell me that. Like, I don't want to have to determine that myself. Have them tell me, yes, the reason that we were unable to successfully bring all your stuff over was because... Yeah, totally, Jay Smith. I know. I agree. Yep. I know. We're all anti, especially in postcards. Everybody's anti, most people are anti-specifics. Yeah, and then it'll pull up. That's cool. Connie, when you joined HIP last year, they all ended up in Africa. Yeah, that's and that's with you populating country and state all the time. So that was so much for my theory. I was giving them the benefit that maybe I'm the one that screwed up because I didn't have the state in there. But if they put you in Africa, that's not cool. Yeah, I'm in Jersey in the UK, the Isle of Jersey. Good night, Lee. Thanks so much for coming in. Nighty night. No, I think there's a place for some of them. I do. I mean, if it helps you at the end of the day, if it helps you get views, right? If it helps you, your card gets seen, I could see for like, I know Kelly and me now at this point and Popeye, we basically put nothing in. But if I had a card that I thought was potentially pretty valuable, I might take another 30 seconds and put in some specifics. You know what I mean? But for the run-of-the-mill basic nonsense, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be worth the time spent. I had no problem yet. And I don't think I would get this huge uptick. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know for sure. But I like this method. It seems to be working well for me. They appear to be correct for the most part. Awesome. Now you get the Jersey references. Yeah, all of my, not all of them, but 300 something, well, 400 something until I fixed them. Now it's down to like 280 of my New Jersey postcards all got thrown into UK Crown Provinces, something Jersey. So they're all like foreign cards, even though they're Atlantic City and Asbury Park, New Jersey, and it's not cool. They're not going to be seen properly, obviously. So I have to go in. I asked them to try to, if there's anything they could do on a you know, on a grand scale to move them all over at once, and nothing, no response. And they're in North Carolina. I'm going to drive down. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I definitely get it. That's all right, Dawn. It's 9 o'clock, and it's night time. No shame in that. It is 9 o'clock, folks. It's 8:59 anyway. So I want to thank everybody. I had a nice turnout tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I definitely enjoyed talking with everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you on I think we'll see you on Friday. Let me make sure. I'll see you on Friday. Yeah, I'll see you on Friday. I have another studio thing, but it's not till Sunday. And I'll see you on Ephemerama on Whatnot on Saturday. John will be there too. I'm on at 9. John's on at 10. That I'll talk more about that on Friday for sure, because that'll be the night before. But I'll see. Maybe we'll do some listing on Friday. We'll see what happens. If I can get the specifics that I need to populate correctly added on my template on eBay with the new listing tool, then maybe we'll do some listing. So it's been a lot of fun, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in. Thank you, Connie. Yeah, go check out Lori. Suckers for Glass Club live stream on Reselling with Esme. Check it out. I'm going to check it out. You too. Thank you, CJ. Good night, guys. Good night. Have a good one. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.